Okay, we're here live with Ace Abellana of Rocket Title, and she's out in a nice coffee shop that just opened up in Norfolk. And how is it out there? Is it a little cold?
A little cold. Yeah, I was a little ill prepared for a jacket to be outside, but it's still sunny, so it's nice. Nice to be
All
out.
right.
Thank you for
Okay.
having me, Chris.
Yeah, I know it's a little chilly this morning. If we did this 2 days ago when it was 70 degrees, but all right, we'll get through it. So, how's business been going for you lately?
You know what? It's New Year. It's been great. It's just been quite a challenge with not enough homes up for sale. A lot
Uh
more
huh.
buyers in comparison to a lot of homes that homes popping up. Um, but it's good to know that there's a lot of buyers out there. With interest rates rising, it's not really stopping anyone from buying because
Right.
historically rates are still very low. But I have seen on the title end, it's quite difficult for everyone to ratify on their contracts.
Uh
Um,
huh.
Cash is king, but it's a challenge, I will say. So I'm hoping with the change of season, more properties start to pop up, and it becomes more of a buyer's market.
Well, some say, some economists say, as the mortgage rates go up, there'll be less competition. That may happen. That may not happen. So, I mean, if it does, that means for buyers when they put an offer on a contract, um, if they put an offer on a contract, there's less competition. There won't be other offers there. About 6 to 8 months ago, we've seen maybe about 5 or 6 offers on one property. It's gotten a little bit better. It's gotten to maybe about 2 or 3. But I know many of my buyers are discouraged, with the market and how they have to compete and going with I'm having my buyers now going with they'll do the home inspection, but for informational purposes. I don't want anybody to go without a home inspection unless you have lots and lots of money to for repairs if any big
Right,
surprises come about. But I
right.
know it's a tough market for buyers. I'm seeing from my clients more listings hitting the market in the last couple of weeks. I'm hoping that trend continues. So there's more listings on the market, but we definitely still need more.
Most definitely, I couldn't agree more. And when it comes to waiving contingencies, while that can be a plus to winning an offer, it is you're running the risk of possibly, overlooking any issues on a home,
Yeah.
um, plumbing or structural damage. I I'm not an agent. I couldn't speak on it. However, from a purchaser point of view, I don't feel comfortable with doing so. And then everybody kind of outbidding each other 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K. That's a challenge for, you know, some some people that don't have the cash or have that in their negative equity.
It's true. It's true. I mean, especially for first-time home buyers who just basically saved enough cash for the down payment, and now they have to, to compete, maybe put down, another 5,000, whatever, and it's getting very tough for them. So,
Right.
um, there are ways to go about it. Like if a family has money, they could give you a gift of some cash. Would have to be a gift letter so the loan officer knows it's not an additional debt that they have to pay to you. So, I mean, there are ways to go about it if there's family money. But like I said, for first time home buyers, it's still a little rough. But we're here to talk about the title company and the role of the title company, and especially with first time home buyers who are entering the market. And first, I have to speak to them about getting a pre-approved and what paperwork they would need to do that. And then I begin talking about the closing company, and they are wondering, well, what does this closing company do? So you want to go through. I guess you're walking to find the more quiet spot.
I just got a little cold, so.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, they said today, I think it's only going to be in the 40s. So, yeah. Well, coffee house, have a nice sip of hot coffee and warm up.
You got to try this coffee. It's so good.
It's so good. Okay.
Yeah. I'll bring you. I want to meet with you again and grab some lunch sometime when you have.
Okay. Okay. And let's just put out a plug. This happens to be an EXP agent. That's I'm a EXP agent as well, and they opened up a new coffee house in Norfolk. Correct?
Yes, it's called Voyager Coffee.
Voyage Coffee on Carly
Mhm.
Avenue, and
Yes,
that's
on
where all
Carly
the
Avenue.
shops are. Like where the theater is, the Narrow Theater is near there.
I don't recall. It's just right next to Elation Brewery.
Okay, all right. So, people, if you're looking for a new coffee shop and as you're strolling along the beautiful Ghent area of Norfolk, go there. Okay, I love that area because it reminds me of Brooklyn, and Brooklyn because of the nice. You have the beautiful real estate stock. You have beautiful mansions and brownstones, and it's with brownstones in Brooklyn, they're now way over 100 years old, and basically, and of course, they've been renovated. So we see that feel. You have the Narrow Theater. There used to be the Narrow video rental place. That's gone, but it's a great place just to walk around and meet people and go see a good movie. So, so let's say you were sitting down with a brand new home buyer, and they want to know why do I have to go to you guys? What is your role in my home buying process? You want to go over a few steps? You want me to mention some stuff, or what would you tell them? What
So choosing a real estate title company during the home buying process, pretty much what we do, our role as a title company is that we get you to closing day. And when you're choosing a title company, some things that you should ask or research is that how long a real estate title company or attorney has been in business, because experience counts. Depending on the volume, how many employees do they have, so they can facilitate your transaction, or for this would pertain to an agent, the kind of volume you're about to bring in, how well they can attend to your client, and what kind of services they offer. You generally want to keep this process pretty smooth, easy, and straight to the point, and make sure that communication is, impeccable.
good? Now, I've heard this term. It's called chain of title. Okay, and um, one of the biggest jobs of the title company is to make sure that the ones who are selling it have 100% ownership to the house, correct?
Correct.
And what? Go ahead.
You want to ensure that title, that transfer of ownership from the seller to buyer, and so on, is free and clear of any liens, judgments, encumbrances, bankruptcies, you name it. You just want to ensure that there is no clouds on title and that you can proceed to closing day and have that ownership free and clear.
Right. So that's very important because you don't want to, as a buyer, inherit a contractor's lien. Let's say that the former owner put on a brand new roof was $10,000, but they haven't paid off the roofer, and the
Right.
roofer put a lien on it. It's not going. It shouldn't be your responsibility to pay that off as a new home buyer. That's the job for the seller, and that's one of the jobs of the title company to make sure those liens aren't on it.
Correct. I can explain a little bit about in depth on what a chain of title is. It's
Yeah.
an extensive historical analysis of the property's ownership, and every time a property is sold, the title is conveying a form chain of title.
Right.
As a title company, that is something we satisfy.
Right. Right. And what's so important about that, because uh, if the present um, owner of the house who's selling it, let's say they inherited that property, but you do the research. Let's say it was through a will and they inherited it, but you find out through the research that in the will, um, a portion of that, let's say it was a brother and sister, to make it easy. We find out that the sister was supposed to inherit that property as well. So part of your job as well is to make sure that that person, either they're going to give up their claim. I mean, if they truly have owners, they would have to split the proceeds. But you have to make sure there's no issues like that on true ownership of a property, correct?
Right. So missing heirs or any heirs that were not conveyed on title is
Yeah.
something we satisfy and track down. And then obviously, if that wasn't, sorry, one moment, a bunch of
Yeah.
people walked in.
Yeah. Okay.
If there's too many, we want to make sure that, again, if there's anyone missing or anyone that was testate, we want to ensure that at the end, closing day, we're distributing funds to the right person, to the right people.
Right. Right. Yeah.
As a
And
title company, I'm sorry to continue, as a title company, we sell title insurance,
right.
and the title insurance covers you against any claims such as heirs, any liens that appear on title that we have missed, all kinds of things.
Right. And that's a question that sometimes comes up. Why does the buyer have to do the title insurance? Well, basically, if I remember correctly, the title company goes back maybe about 80 years in searching the title. But there might have been something that happened, believe it or not, maybe about 100 years ago. And maybe a portion of that property, again, was heired by somebody else. There were issues where the county clerk, when he wrote down the lot number, didn't use the right lot number. There's all type of things that could go wrong, believe it or not, and that's to protect you for these other mistakes that might have happened prior to the search of the title company.
Prior to ownership, correct.
Yeah.
In the state of Virginia, we only run title 40 years back.
40 years.
That's
Okay.
40
Okay.
years, yeah.
Yeah.
It depending on the state, 40 years for the state of Virginia.
Okay. Okay. I had an issue. It was actually with a condo, and the previous owner had another child. I maybe it was out of marriage or whatever, and they wanted to make sure that this person wasn't going to make a claim on it. Well, they end up having the guy signed I guess an affidavit, said he's not going to make any claim on the property. So things like this happens, and I've been told, I haven't seen it, but there's like a YouTube video on all things that could go wrong with title and how important it is to get that title insurance. So, and that's a good question and answer, because a lot of young buyers are saying, well, why am I getting this insurance for? And it's really, you really truly need it. So that's a big issue. And then, of course, when it comes to closing, you want to talk a little bit about funding, what actually happens on closing day, about, the other duty of the closing company is that you want to make sure everybody gets paid.
Certainly. I can discuss a little bit about what a closing or a closer or a settlement day means.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Closing is usually the final step in executing a real estate transaction. It's the last step. Sorry, that was just a noise. It's the last step in purchasing and financing a property. And on the closing day, ownership of the property is transferred from the seller to the buyer.
Uh-huh.
It's not completely over. Something we have there's another step called post-closing, and usually after the signing has been completed, the buyers close. Well, in the state of Virginia, sellers close first, and then the buyers. The escrow or settlement agent.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think you still have it on mute. I can't hear you. Yeah. Okay.
One moment.
Okay. Well, they must be doing very good, this new coffee house. There seems to be a lot of people in there. So I'm happy for them. Happy that they're doing well.
You got to try it, Chris. It's
Yeah,
absolutely
I
amazing.
will. I will. I will.
If you're a coffee fan.
Oh, I am a big coffee fan.
Yeah. Pretty much, the escrow or settlement agent will forward any payment to the prior lender
Yeah.
and all the parties who perform the services in connection with your closing that haven't been paid, and the
Mhm.
transaction documents are recorded in the county in which your property is located.
Good. Great. Great. Now, I read in your email that Rocket Title could do a 7-day closing. Is that true?
It is so true.
Yeah.
Again, so long as there's no title issues, we can close you within 7 days, cash deal 3 days. Again, no title issues at the convenience of your home or one of the many locations that we have here in Hampton Roads.
Yeah.
I also I've gone to close people at their homes.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a closing up. I mean, your headquarters are in Virginia Beach at the town center, but we had a closing at the Newport News. It's a big office center called Gather, and they have lovely offices there. And we had a wonderful closing there. And I shouldn't say right now, all the time, I'm exclusively using Rocket Title, unless my buyer or seller has a preferred one. I always, if my buyer or seller has a preferred closing company, I'm not going to go against their wishes. But if they don't have any, I always recommend Rocket Title. They keep me up to date on all the steps that are involved with the closing. If there's any issues, I'm notified right away. I could speak to my buyer or seller. I will help retrieve any paperwork that they need. And so and all the staff, the entire staff, they're friendly, they're courteous. So I really enjoy working with Rocket Title.
And Chris, I want to thank you for the continued business,
Mm-hmm.
the loyalty, and the amount of faith that you continue to have in us.
Yeah.
You help us with growth and putting a good word out there in Hampton Roads. So it means so much to us. I know some of the processes love you. You are the sweetest and easy to work with.
Yeah.
And so, you don't make it challenging for us too. We're all here at the end of the table trying to, get the job done.
I've learned not to sweat the small stuff, and a lot of people get frazzled when something goes wrong. I've been in this business now going almost 30 years. I started first in Brooklyn. I did rental agency afternoon. I was a high school teacher. And like I said, I've been doing it since 1993. I realized that each deal is not perfect. There's always something that goes a little bit wrong. In fact, when deals go too well, that makes me more nervous because I say something has to happen. But you can't get crazy over everything.
Right.
And you got to work it out. I'm more concerned about finding answers, solving problems than saying, "Oh, this was your fault. This was never my fault." But no, but I'm just my biggest concern is solving problems, and that's what the whole business.
We're right there with you.
Yeah.
Right there with you. Only want to help, add value in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. All right. So actually, their headquarters, if you want to stop by, it's in the Peninsula Town Center. I don't. What's the street number again?
So our address is 4573 Bank Street, Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Uh-huh.
23462, a very conveniently located title company off a bank. You can pull up when you need to pick up your proceeds or hop into a closing. You can park up on bank or the parking lot over. And once you're done, you can celebrate your closing in town center. There's many
Right.
restaurants and
Oh yeah.
dining and dessert spots, some
Yeah.
entertainment. We're right in front of the Sandler Performing Arts Center.
Mm.
So we're pretty centrally located in
It's
Hampton
a great
Roads.
location. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, this was great. I thank you so much again for this. And people out there, you have Ace's contact information right below me on the screen. Any questions you have about closing companies, if you want to use them, the information is right there below. Okay.
Yes, definitely. Any questions, again, feel free to reach out. My cell, I'm heavy on social media, happy to answer any questions. Visit our page, Rocket Title Inc. on Facebook or our social media Instagram account. Otherwise, thank you so much for having us and having faith in our team. And we look forward to a prosperous 2022.
Same here. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your coffee and warm up. Okay.
Yeah, stop by Voyager Coffee. It's got really good, the cold brew is delicious.
All right. Okay. Talk to you
Thanks,
soon.
Chris.
All right.
Take
Bye bye.
care. Bye bye.
Okay. All right. That went great. All right.